This is the Panasonic TZ81. I think it's a 2016 model or 2017. It's quite a reasonably practical little camera that you can fit in your pocket with a good zoom and 4K video. The camera in itself, I got mixed feelings about it, but it's nice, mostly because of the price. Because otherwise, you'd be getting the Sony RX10 now. The price is, you can find it under $300 or even under 300 euros a camera like this. Now, the good thing about this camera is really, it's got a very large zoom, an equivalent of 700 millimeters on a full frame camera. It's got a small handle, it fits reasonably in your pocket. It's nice. The 4K video is reasonably good in good lighting conditions, actually better than you would get from most telephones nowadays. But there's a few things that I think could have been done better on a camera like this, even at this price point. First of all, the buttons, the placement of the buttons. You press this button here. Okay, you have to wait these couple of seconds for the lens to come out. If you want to turn it off, it's the same thing. Boom. And it's not very responsive, so sometimes you wonder if you did press the button or not. And the video recording button is right next to it. So that's not a good thing. Sometimes you want to shoot the video, but you actually turn the camera off. And other times you're trying to grab the camera from your pocket, but by mistake you press this and the lens will try to come out and push inside your pocket, and you're going to hear a strange noise and think you're breaking it. That's not a good thing. Then the screen is fixed and it's not a very luminous screen. So if you're shooting like this, let's say, and you want to see what you're filming, and you have to physically go behind the screen because the screen is not going to come to you physically. Noisy train. The zoom in itself, it extends quite far once you push it to the maximum. That's an equivalent 720 millimeter. At this focal point, it's not a great lens. Whatever photo you're going to shoot, it's going to start looking like a digital enhancement, even if it's not. The resolution of the lens or the glass just drops significantly. But I think that up to a certain amount, like 500 millimeters, so let's say, halfway, you can get very good photos. Very good, everything reasonable. Most modern cameras, iPhones, Samsung and stuff like this, they will give you better photos. What they don't have is zoom like this. So you will give out a little bit quality on the photos. It's very noisy at low light, very, very noisy at low light. But as I say, the zoom is something that you might need from a decent wide angle to a zoom that extends quite far. And I will include some photos, some example photos now at the end of the video. As for adapters and stuff, you have a micro USB to charge it, HDMI port, mini HDMI, micro HDMI, I don't know, those things are terrible. No headphone jack, no microphone jack, but it's not really intended for professional video. That's a battery. You don't have a battery charger, you have to charge through the USB, micro USB, unless maybe you buy an external battery charger, and then the SD card. That's quite reasonable. So all in all, it's a good camera. The price point is very low. It's very good. It's got some things that are not perfect. I don't think the lens are that great. Their main feature is being able to extend very far. But it's a great thing to have for the summer if you don't really want to travel or go around with a very expensive camera. Here's a picture taken with a wide angle open, and then I took a photo with a fully extended zoom, and that's what you see inside the red border superimposed on the wide angle photos to give you an idea more or less of how the proportions are. And now this is the photo that was inside the red border, and it goes really close. It's quite impressive actually. The only thing, the stabilization at this point starts failing. It's not a bad stabilization. It's not the best one I've ever seen, but consider the price point, consider it's a small camera that fits in your hand. So it's quite reasonable, I think. But besides the stabilization that didn't work perfectly in this example here, well, it worked to show you how, what happens when you take photos with that kind of full extended zoom in your handheld. it is also clear that the resolution is not that good. You know, the lens are starting to fail at that point. It looks like a bad telephone, a bad photo coming out of a smartphone, and a little bit at least. And you do certainly lose the color vibrancy and the contrast that you can expect when using the camera at other focal lengths. I've noticed that in many different conditions, many different light situations, you know, and the colors are just not the same anymore when you fully extend the zoom lens. The contrast is gone. But once again, you know, I don't think most people will need to use the zoom at that extent unless, you know, if they're trying to catch a detail that they will not be able to catch any other, you know, they wouldn't be able to catch otherwise. So, you know, all in all, it's a very good small little camera to have on holidays. I might come up with another video showing you more examples. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.